Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. This is practice exercise 4 in our SolidWorks beginner series. If you're just starting out or looking to sharpen your 3D modeling skills, you're in the right place. We'll go step by step through the basics and build simple 3D models together. On our channel, we consistently upload tutorials, tips, and tricks to help you keep improving your CAD skills. We also cover different CAD software so you can explore new tools and workflows as you learn. And if you ever have a question or get stuck, feel free to drop a comment. I'll be happy to help. Alright, this is the starting interface. Since we're going to create a 3D model, let's begin by opening a new part file. You'll see the Welcome dialog box on the screen. From here, you can open a new part file by clicking on Part. Now, if you click anywhere outside the dialog box by mistake, it'll be close. Don't worry, you can bring it back by clicking on the Home tool and the Welcome dialog will appear again. Then, just click on Part to open your new file. So now you've learned two different ways to open a new part file. You can use whichever method feels easier to you. And that's it. You're now in the part modeling environment and ready to start designing. Before we start modeling, let's take a quick look at the drawing to understand the main dimensions for creating the base. And remember that all dimensions are in millimeters. The overall length of the model is 145 millimeters. The width is 72 millimeters, and the total height is 90 millimeters. Or, you'll notice on the right side, there's a lower section with a thickness of 25 millimeters, while the upper section has a thickness of 35 millimeters. This part forms the base of the model and gives it that step-like structure. Before we start modeling, let's take a quick moment to make sure our unit system is set to millimeters, since all the model dimensions are given in millimeters. It might seem like a small step, but it's important for keeping our design consistent and accurate throughout the process. Now let's start by creating the base feature. Go to the Sketch tab and click on the Sketch tool. You'll see the three default planes appear, perpendicular to each other. Select the right plane to set it as our active sketching plane. Now let's start by creating the base profile. Go to the Sketch tab and select the Line tool. Click once on the origin to set the starting point. Move your cursor to the right, and when the horizontal constraint symbol appears, click again to place the next point. Continue sketching until you form a closed sketch, just like the one shown in the drawing. Now let's add the dimensions. Activate the Smart Dimension tool. Click on this horizontal line and set its length to 145 millimeters. Next, click this vertical line and set it to 90 millimeters. Then select this smaller vertical line and set it to 25 millimeters. Finally, click on this horizontal line and set it to 35 millimeters. Once all the dimensions are applied, check the sketch. It should now be fully defined. Now, let's move on and convert this 2D sketch into a 3D model. Go to the Features tab and select Extruded Boss Base. Under the Direction 1 drop-down, choose Mid-Plane and set the extrusion depth to 72 millimeters. Confirm with the green tick. And that's it. The base feature of our model is complete. From here, we'll move ahead and build the rest of the parts step by step. Now let's move on to the bottom cutout section of the model. If you look at the drawing, you can see this small rectangular portion here. This is the area we'll be removing from the corner of the base. Now take note of the dimensions. If we were to cut it from the front face, the rectangle would measure 50 by 5 millimeters with a cut depth of 70 millimeters. And if we cut it from the right face, the rectangle would measure 70 by 5 millimeters with a cut depth of 50 millimeters. In this case, We'll be creating the cut from the right face of the model, so keep those dimensions in mind as we move forward. Let's get started. Go to the Sketch tab and select the Sketch tool. Now, select the right face of the model. This will activate it as our sketching plane. Next, from the Sketch tab, select the Corner Rectangle tool. Move your cursor to the bottom left corner of the base. Click once to set the first point, then drag the cursor diagonally and click again to place the opposite corner. Now let's define the dimensions. Set the length to 70 millimeters and the width to 5 millimeters. Once that's done, take a look at the sketch. It should now be fully defined. Alright, let's remove this sketch portion to form the bottom cut. Go to the Features tab, select Extruded Cut, and under Direction 1 drop-down, choose Blind. Set the cut depth to 50 millimeters and confirm with the green tick. And that's it. The bottom cutout section is complete. Now we'll move on to creating the cutout section on the top of the base feature. If you look at the drawing, you'll notice this slot portion that needs to be removed from the right side of the top surface of the base. Take a closer look at the cutout dimensions. They'll help us draw the exact shape. The slot has an arc radius of 12 millimeters, which means the total width of the slot is 24 millimeters. If you prefer, you can define it directly using the width instead of the radius. Both will give the same result. And the vertical distance from the top edge of the base to the arc center point is 50 millimeters. Also, notice that this slot is centered along the width of the model. Since the overall width of the base is 72 millimeters and the slot width is 24 millimeters, placing it 24 millimeters from the right edge will position it perfectly at the center. So you see the distance between this vertical line and this right edge of the base to 24 millimeters to position it correctly. So keep these dimensions in mind. They'll guide us when we start creating the actual cut feature. Let's get started. Go to the Sketch tab and select the Sketch tool. Now click on the top face of the base to set it as our sketching plane. From the Sketch tab, select the Line tool. Now move your cursor over the edge of the base and click once to set the first point. Then, move your cursor vertically downward and click again to place the next point. Now bring your cursor back toward the previous point and then slightly move it away. You'll notice the arc mode automatically activate. Move the cursor horizontally from the previous point, and once you see the arc forming a smooth 180-degree curve, click to set the endpoint. Now the line mode becomes active again, so continue connecting the lines to create a closed profile, just like this. Next, let's define the dimensions. Set the arc radius to 12 millimeters. Then, define the vertical distance between the arc's center point and this horizontal line to 50 millimeters. According to the drawing, the slot is positioned 24 millimeters from the right edge of the model. So, set the distance between this vertical line and the right edge to 24 millimeters. Once you've added these dimensions, the sketch should now be fully defined. Alright, let's cut out this section to create the slot. Go to the Features tab, select Extruded Cut, and under Direction 1 drop-down, select Through All. Confirm with the green tick, and that's it. The slot cutout on the base is complete. Now we'll create the whole cutout on the front face of the model. If you look at the drawing, you'll see that this whole section cuts through all from the front face of the model. Let's review the dimensions before we start. The diameter of the hole is 24 millimeters. This cut is positioned 45 millimeters above from the bottom edge and 36 millimeters from the right side, while keeping it perfectly centered across the width of the model. Keep these dimensions in mind as we move forward. Let's get started. Go to the Sketch tab and select the Sketch tool. Now, click on the front face of the base to set it as our sketching plane. From the Sketch tab, select the Circle tool and draw a circle on the selected face, just like this. Next, we'll define its dimensions. Set the diameter of the circle to 24 millimeters. Then, add a vertical dimension of 45 millimeters from the circle's center to the bottom edge. Finally, set the horizontal distance from the circle's center to the right edge of the model to 36 millimeters. Once all dimensions are applied, the sketch should now be fully defined. Alright, let's remove this section to create the cutout. Go to the Features tab, select Extruded Cut, and under Direction 1 drop-down, select Through All. Confirm with the green tick, and that's it. The whole cutout is complete. Finally, let's move on to the last feature, the cutout on the front face of the model. If you take a look at the drawing, you'll notice that this section includes a circular profile along with the rectangular portion that needs to be removed. Now let's go over the key dimensions. The arc has a radius of 30 millimeters, positioned 45 millimeters vertically from the bottom edge, and 36 millimeters horizontally from the right edge. This means the arc is concentric with the previously created hole. The rectangular cutout extends across the full width of the model. It's positioned 24 millimeters below the top edge and 30 millimeters above the bottom edge. Finally, this section is cut to a depth of 10 millimeters. Keep these dimensions in mind as you proceed to create the final cutout. Let's get started. Go to the Sketch tab and select the Sketch tool. Now click on the front face of the base to set it as our sketching plane. From the Sketch tab, select the Circle tool and move your cursor over the existing hole. When the center point highlights, click on it to make the new circle concentric with the previous one and draw a circle, like this. Next, select the Corner Rectangle tool and sketch a rectangle on the same face, using the base width as a reference. Now, it's time to clean up the sketch. Select the Trim Entities tool and make sure the Power Trim option is active in the Trim Property Manager. Trim away the extra lines like this to form a closed profile. Once that's done, let's define the dimensions. Set the arc radius to 30 millimeters. Then, add a dimension of 24 millimeters between this top edge and this upper horizontal line. Finally, set a dimension of 30 millimeters between this bottom edge and this lower horizontal line. After adding all the dimensions, your sketch should now be fully defined. Alright, let's move on to create the cutout. Go to the Features tab, select Extruded Cut, and under Direction 1 drop-down, select Blind. Set the depth to 10 millimeters and confirm with the green tick. That's it. We've finished the model. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next practice exercise. You can also check the playlist for more 3D modeling tutorials and keep improving step by step. See you in the next one!